you can live a life in flow where your deepest heart's desires become reality. At Set to Love, we offer strategies and ideas on how you can stay out of crazy town. See, your human experience is meant to be lived with meaning, purpose, and creativity. You are here to contribute through your essence. We are best friends, moms, entrepreneurs, and above all, find our flow in assisting you to find yours. We come together weekday mornings to bring you ideas to fall deeper in love with your life and the journey that you are on. Take what works and ditch the rest, and always stay set to love. Thank you for being a part of this community. We're all designed to live in flow. So let's go.
Good morning.
How do you live open through your challenges? That is what we are talking about today on Set to Love. Good morning, friend. How are you?
Doing good. I'm really excited about this morning because challenges are not always the easiest. So I think having a few ideas for our viewers and friends might be helpful. So I think this is a great idea.
Yeah, I was thinking about it today, and we were going to just talk a little bit more about just living open and why that's important. And I thought, we kind of did that 2 weeks ago for anyone who missed it, having an open mind and having an open perspective and why that is so important. And I was thinking about our conversation on Monday when we first got on this call, and you said, "Hi, friend, how are you today?" And I just started crying because I had just sent the kids off the day before. And so I thought to myself, how do we live open during our challenges? How do we, and why is that even important? So it's easy to say, oh, have an open mind and live open. But when you're going through something that's challenging, it's not always easy to do.
Well, and I think basically we're being real with everyone. We have a lot of challenges in our lives. I mean, you are divorced and you have to share custody with your kids. And so that's an ongoing challenge to not only get along and make it be flowful. It doesn't mean you don't have days like Monday. It broke my heart when you were crying because I know, if you could make it different, you would, but this is just your life. So, when we talk about these things, it doesn't mean that life is always easy or that we're always happy. We both cry about things and feel sad. And, personally, I feel I've got challenges coming up, and how I handle it is going to make a big difference. How I'm going to talk to my clients and have a positive attitude so that they'll support me when I don't have those 2 days a week. And what's that going to be like with my husband that I'm gone overnight once a week for who knows how long. There's a lot of challenges, a lot of, we have to be open to challenges and kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's more like stay open to have the flow. You have to recognize even through the hard times, the right way to handle situations so that things do flow and you can stay happy and say, okay, I know there's good in this. No matter how hard this is, something good is going to come out of this. It's not, woe is me, I feel sorry for myself, or how am I going to do it? That's crazy town right there. What, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that there is no getting around challenges in life, right? Like, we are humans. Things are going to be hard. Things are not always going to work out the way that you want. News that you are not expecting is going to drop in your lap. And then there's going to be things that you do expect. Like, I've been separated now for 5 years or whatever it's been. It's been a long time. But yet still sharing custody of the kids is still hard, even though I'm used to it and I expect it. And I'm grateful that we have such a good relationship, my kid's dad and I, and that we're civil with each other and nice. And we're very, we work together to really try to accommodate one another's schedules and things. But it doesn't make it easy, regardless, to say bye to your kids for a whole week. Especially, I mean, with COVID, it's just easier for us to do 1 week on, 1 week off. That wasn't the original agreement. But he's also 45 minutes from me. And so it's not as easy to share. So finding the good in it is, okay, I have 1 week that I get to be quote unquote single, right? And like really productive. And I'm just here and I can work and I have no distractions, because when I've got 5 boys in the house, then it's really hard to stay focused and to be like into flow and into work. But I can then be in flow with my kids and I get to be really present there and I get to just really be appreciative of what I have. It doesn't make the transition easier though. It's still like, man, I think it's probably like losing someone, or like where you'll just find yourself crying like 2 years later. You're like, I thought I was over this. I thought I was strong enough. I got past this. But I find that things that are hard are still hard. You just focus on what you can control and you look for the good versus the woe is me.
Well, that's what I really admire about you, Eva. I mean, you're really able to, yes, you may have had a tearful moment, but you're able to, push forward. And usually, I know it hangs with you for a few days, but you still are very productive and you move on, and you get a lot of things done. And the most important thing is that you're looking for the good in the week ahead without your kids, instead of staying sad and depressed. So I admire that.
I think all we can do in those moments is say to ourselves, and I've done this before. I've done this when it feels like my world is crashing in, and literally it really is. I mean, there's just like so many crazy synchronistic wrong things happening at once, and all I can do in those moments is say, there's good in this moment. There's good in this moment. There's good in this moment. I may not be able to see it right now or really connect to it right now, but I know perspective will come. And so if I can just hold on to the hope that one day down the road, it's going to be okay. And it is what it is. I mean, I can't control sometimes whatever is happening in the outside world. I remember when my dad passed away, it was really challenging for me. And all I kept saying was, there's good in this moment. There's good in this moment. There's good in this moment. And as I was going through all the emotions, like the grief and the anger and the, why didn't I do this? And the, just this deep sadness, and just remembering our whole relationship and what we could have done better. I mean, there's so many things that go through your mind when you lose someone close. Like for me, it happened really, really quick. And all I kept saying was, there's good in this moment. There's good in this moment, while I'm holding all these other conflicting emotions. And so just that tiny little bit of hope, that tiny little bit of one day, even if it's 2 years or 5 years, I'll look back and I'll say, I made it through that.
I feel that way about my divorce, in the sense that when you're going through it and it's really, really hard and you cry a lot. And, my ex-husband, I'm sure, was really sad, and just that whole thing. But I look back now, how many years later, and he's still like a family member to me. It's more like he's my brother now. I do care about him and his significant other, and our kids have done really well. So a lot of times it may take a little bit of time, but when you do the right things and stay with a flow attitude and doing the right thing for your kids, this is just one example, but I can look at it and I'm so proud of Scott and I that we really did a good job. We have great kids and now grandkid, and it's just wonderful. So it does pay off to do the right things and not stay angry. And it's not really giving in when you forgive someone or whatever. It's really for yourself. I know we've said that before, but you need a good reminder. If you're staying angry or upset with someone, it's just really not worth your time. Because fast forward how many years, you think about when you and Chad first got divorced, how that was horrible. And you guys, would have days where you just didn't want to talk to one another, just like people. And now, you don't have any of that conflict. So time does have a way of working itself out, and forgiveness in there on both sides. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I think this is the time that when you're going through the challenge, and I heard Glennon Doyle talk. Was it Glennon Doyle? No, maybe it was Elizabeth Gilbert, the author of Eat, Pray, Love. I think it was her. And she was talking about how, she spent all this time learning meditation, practicing how to stay in her body and stay calm, and just on the days that it wasn't hard. So on the days when things are fine and just moving along, that's why having that meditation practice, or why having that ability to just ground yourself in the small moments, because life is really about those big moments. And this is what comes to mind, Shelly. Remember when I found out that Emmy and Coleman, my two oldest, had smoked pot in her car, and in my intuition said, go out and go smell her car, go smell her car. And I thought, okay, this is what life is about. These challenges, like, I can do this. And I went out there and I smelled it and I was like, crap, like, dang it. I mean, she was a junior in high school. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I was not a huge fan of it. But the problem was she was with her 8th grade brother. That made me just like fuming, like,
Yes.
he's in 8th grade. And so I called him down and I stayed really calm. And Coleman, like, what just happened? Do not lie to me. I am your mother. And I was trying so hard to stay calm through the challenge. Like, be the calm mom. Don't be the mom who just flies off the handle, makes all these assumptions, does all this stuff. And as I was talking to Coleman and questioning him and trying so hard to stay calm, the poor child had so much stress, his eyes rolled to the back of the head and he passed out right in front of me in the backyard. Like, I caught him as he was about to like hit the ground. And while he was telling me the truth, and at that point is when I lost it. I was just like, I am no longer calm in this challenge. And I had to call a friend of mine and say, like, I am clearly not stable anymore. I was doing so good and now I have lost it and I need help. Because I think we can practice staying calm in the little moments, so that way when the big moments come, we can handle them. And I was doing so good until it pushed just a little bit too far. Like, my child passing out in front of me was not something I was ready for or expecting. And I think when we do go through those really difficult challenges, we practice staying calm so we can get through them. But when we can't get through them, it's so important to have someone in our lives that we can call and say, bring me back to baseline, calm me down, tell me everything's going to be okay.
Judgmental.
I've lost it.
Well, a couple of things come to mind because I remember that day and I remember how upset you were. But once again, I was really proud of you because you stayed open and, you weren't happy with the situation, but you communicated with your kids. You didn't scream at them. And look, fast forward, what was the good in it? Your kids can now come to you. They're very open to you. They're not pot smokers. Regardless, you left them open to come to you, good or bad, that my mom's not going to freak out. And having a stable friend come and say, everything's going to be okay. Just, step away for a few minutes. Make sure Coleman was okay. I remember that.
Yeah.
But I think you handled it really well. And I think by screaming at them, what would have been the other choice? You could have just, started screaming and then nobody would have learned anything.
To go to crazy town in situations like that. I think that's the most important thing for people, is that we practice staying calm when things are just a little bit challenging, because that way when things get more challenging, you've built up this ability to be able to handle the big things. And then you've got to have 1 or 2 or 3 people in your back pocket that you can call when things become too challenging. And that's just one way that we can stay open and we can learn so much from that challenge. Like, I now know, okay, this is how I could have reacted better. These are different choices I could have made. And that's just what life is about, right? Is like these experiences and then becoming better through them.
What I really thought, and I almost interrupted you because I just thought of it this second, is that you heard the little voice. Like, what if you would have ignored that voice and you wouldn't even have known that the kids were smoking pot or done any of that? You literally, you probably first thought, why am I thinking this is terrible? Like, what's the point of this? But you still followed through on that intuition and that little voice. And that's something we're trying to teach everybody, that the voice is there. And sometimes it's for a protective reason. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's bad. It's just, let's not ignore it, because had you not faced that right at the time, who knows what would have happened with the kids or what kind of situation or trouble you had ahead. with, you kind of nipped it in the
Absolutely.
butt right
And
when it
and that
happened.
voice was really loud that day. It was right. I mean, I was about to get on a work call. It was 10 p.m. at night. I know it's really late for a work call, but that's just when everyone could meet. 5 minutes before I'm supposed to get on this call, and that voice was like, "Go outside, go check her car. Something just happened, and you need to be aware of it." And I just was thinking, do I really want to go? Because I got something I need to be doing right now. And then I thought, dang
Oh
it,
my
it's
gosh.
very loud. I just need to go deal with whatever it is. And that's what Monday and Tuesday show was really about, right? Intuition and tapping into that. And
And what's
so
for tomorrow? What are
tomorrow
we
we are
doing tomorrow?
talking about just this idea of living open, why it is so vitally important, and how synchronicities tie into it. Why? And Friday is Sky Nelson Isaacs, and he talks all about flow and synchronicities and the physics behind it. So we're going to kind of dive into a little bit of that tomorrow, how living open really opens up synchronicities in your life. And then Friday, we're going to have Sky on the show. So there it
Yay.
is, another episode for today. Thank you, friends, so much for being
Thank
here and
you.
just for being that person in my back pocket. I love you so much. I'm so
I love
grateful for
you
you.
too. And we would love to answer any of your questions about flow. So you can reach us at www.settolove.com. If you'd like to be featured, email us at setttolovepodcast.gmail.com. You can also, please, we would love it if you would subscribe with a comment and hit a bell. You can see us there at www.patreon.com. Set to Love. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Have a great day, everyone. See you tomorrow.